Hello, my CNC brothers and sisters. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft. It is 8 o'clock sharp Eastern Standard Time here in Indiana, and sitting next to me is...
I'm Kate Tucker with Women Who CNC. It's nice to be back on Wednesday evening to hang out with all of you. So I hope you guys have brought your questions for us tonight. We're here for you. We're showing up every Wednesday, 8 p.m. with the live CNC Hangout to help you. So I hope you guys have lots of great questions for us tonight. Welcome to everyone. And oh my gosh, I don't know about you all, but it's been a busy week here. How about you, Garrett? How have you been this week? We haven't even hardly had a chance to catch up this week either.
It's been a little busy on this end as well, business-wise.
Yeah.
Quite busy. I got 3 priorities going in business, and we're starting to work on 2 new products that are going to be coming out. One is going to be coming out in about 2 months that some people are going to want. Another one, more people are going to want. So, yep. And working on a couple other projects to, do what we do. It's mostly business on my on my end, sister.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah. So, brothers and sisters. So tonight we're going to just chew the fat. We had an awesome show last week with Ryan Drapella from Cutting It Close. And I have gotten so many comments that people really enjoyed that show. Some people thought that was the best show that we've had on Wednesday. Very educational, business oriented. I suggest you go back and watch that one from last week. We will link that in the description of this video if you would just make a note on that, Julian. Speaking of Julian and Liberty, we have our IDC Woodcraft team that I cannot live without hanging out in the background. Our shipping master, which would be Liberty, right? She is the one that throws all your M&Ms in the packages and writes those notes. And Julianne will back her up when she needs it. But Julianne is keeping the business organized and all the inventory squared up. And that's been a chase in and of itself. But, and Adam, who's not here, is the guy that's doing all the video stuff. And of course, we have Liberty and Cammie and a couple of the team members that you don't meet. Anyway, these guys are in the background. Are going to be chewing the fat with you. And Kate is going to give you the house rules. Girls, give a little wave. I'll back out. We'll bring you in if we need to.
All right. So house rules are everybody just be kind. It's really great when we just can have a great fun evening. So be sure you're choosing your words wisely and being thoughtful with your comments. We are all here to help out one another. If there are questions that Garrett and I can't answer, obviously we love to throw that out to the community because somebody always knows a somebody. So we love that about tonight, or we love that about our group. So other than that, we have one other house rule, and that is to make sure that your questions are in by 9 p.m. because that is when we cut the questions off. Unless we have everything caught up and all of the questions answered, but we usually get a lot of questions. So we want to make sure that everybody tries to get those in early. Again, that cutoff time is 9 p.m. And if you can prompt your question at the beginning of it, just type in the word question and then write it afterwards. That really helps us see that you actually have a question and you're not just conversating with someone else in the background. So anyway, all right. So are you ready to say some hellos to our friends?
Yeah. Just to remind everybody right at the get-go, in the description of the video, whether you're on Women Who CNC's channel or IDC Woodcraft channel or in Facebook, in the description are links. We will talk about those things and we'll tell you if we have links down below or not, or Julianne will throw links into the comments, just so you know. All right, so say some hellos to our brothers and sisters. And who is number 1, Kate?
Well, as far as I can see, it looks like Oz is right up front.
Right.
So that's who I see on my end. So Oz, it's nice to see you back again, brother, bright and early.
I see Mark Lindsay as number 1.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, Mark, how you doing?
AM.
Wow. All right. Well, he's on it today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got Mark and Oz right up front. We've got Jim Pitts. We've got Chris. Hey, Chris. Let's see. We've got Madika. I hope I'm saying that right. Eric, and then Julie Ann, of course. We've got Julie and Tom Frank. Hello, fellow friends. Oh, let's see. Who else do we have here? We had some early chit chat. Oh, we've got Michael. Hey, Michael, welcome back, brother.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, he's got some big things going on. Mark's on there, of course. Oh, looks like Jack in the shop. He's back. He's hanging out with us. Ellen, welcome back, sister. We've got Doug, Max, Wade. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Brian Neighbor. Looks like JKTS Full. Let's see, who else do we have here?
I love this.
We had so many chats, so many conversations happening. I love this.
We're showing 158 people on board right now. And imagine all of us sitting in a room. That would be quite a room full of people.
Yeah.
So that's super, super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we've got Gary and Carolyn and Rocco. And let's see, for the last one, just for time's sake, looks like we've got Showbud 10, East Texas boy, saying hello. Well, hello, East Texas boy.
East Texas boy.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
All around the world. Well, so let's just start diving into some questions. I forgot. For those of you who are interested, we got muscle trucks back in again. Every time I get those in, we get cleaned out. And Liberty, I'm going to bring you on board. You can tell how fast we get cleaned out of muscle trucks when they come in.
I literally am done with them by the end of the day. Like, by the time I come into work, I don't get to lunch before they're sold out.
That's how fast they go. So if you're interested in getting a muscle truck is a quick change tool. We got it for the Makita trim router. Right. So we are working on with muscle truck to get some of the other variants on board. It's a small company, so it's taking a little bit of time. But if you want a muscle truck, dive in because we're going to burn out again.
They're going to be gone again.
Every single time. All right. Thanks, Liberty.
All right.
Let's do it, sister.
All right. Let's look at our questions here. All right. So first up is Harvey. Hello, Harvey.
Hi, Harvey.
It says, I'm having trouble with backlash block on the Z-axis. It's so tight that I need pliers and vice grips to get it to move. I've used 3-to-1 oil as well as liquid soap. I have loosened the screws. He needs some help.
Okay. So Harvey would be talking probably about the long mill anti-backlash nuts. And you've adjusted them back and forth. I'm sure you have. What I would suggest is there's 2 bolts that are holding that anti-backlash nut in. I would loosen those bolts and then just turn it a little bit. And there may be just a little play in that anti-backlash nut like that. Loosen that, and that may allow it to line back up to your lead screw. And I believe that should help. If not, I would contact Long Mill and tell them that the anti-backlash nut needs to be replaced. And if there's a problem with that, send me an email. I have a couple extras, I think, in-house here that I can drop in the mail for you.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully that helps you, Mr. Harvey.
Yeah.
All right. So up next, we have a 2-part question. This is from Sean, so I'm going to put up the first part. So he says, I got this point by creating...
Oh, no, there's one before that, Kate.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hey, Garrett and Kate. Sorry I missed you last
time. You scrolled up a little bit, weren't you?
Yes, I'm so sorry. He says, sorry I missed you last time. This is a 2-part comment being YouTube limits character to 200. On the partnership with the lockpick manufacturer in a large order, keep reading text. Okay. I got to this point by creating an item for a friend and the manufacturer seen it and commented on it. I then reached out to them to see if they were interested in making a partnership and went there.
And then he's got one more comment, a couple more comments.
Wish I could give more details, but the chat is limited. Okay.
And then one more. Hopefully, I'll be on your live stream one day. Thanks. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, what he is saying is Sean is another CNC creator who's just put himself out there. And however he showed his product, but it got to a friend and had to be on I'm going to assume Facebook. Somebody posted it. This lock company commented on it, and now Sean is taking initiative and reaching out to that company, working to drum up some business. This is exactly the way you get yourself going in business. So, and Ellen kind of worked out that way too. By the way, I was having a little chit chat with Sister Ellen today, text, and I said, maybe Ellen, we need to bring you on board because of what she has done. So I think, Kate, we should set up a few people and just get a crew on board, and they can each tell their stories of how they started. They just bought a CNC machine and then they got somewhere, and that's so just to show that it can happen and how it happens in the different ways. So we are going to plan on that. I told Ellen plan on it. She said, okay, she's looking forward to it.
Very good. I love Ellen. So I think that's a fantastic idea to do that with all of our creators, because there are so many unique stories out there that really help to inspire and motivate people to keep going when they feel like they've just kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock. So it's really inspiring to see other people making that dream happen.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we have another question up here. This is from Chris M. He says, is there an update on the rollout of the new CNC Labs alt mill CNC machine?
So last I talked to them, if I remember right, they're talking March. I know they're getting parts in, they're testing. They had a one quality issue, so they had to go back to the manufacturer of that component and have that worked on. So yeah, what's the term? I'm itching at the I want one. I want one.
I'm trying to think of what you're trying to say, but I'm coming up blank. So
yeah, no, there's some saying that says I'm impatient. I can't remember what it is. Somebody put in the comments what are some slogans, some cliches that are indicative of I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't hold it in. All right. Okay, let's see what we've got up next here. It looks like we've got Jim Pitts. He is asking, Garrett, how is the PWN water-cooled coming? I have mine quietly humming. This should be standard on the long mill MK2. Loving it.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you how my water-cooled is coming. So we are going to go over here and share a picture of my water-cooled. There it is.
Woohoo!
My water-cooled spindle. I finished mounting that on there today. Got everything tested and finished tramming the machine. And the only thing I haven't done is run a program. But what I'm going to do, because what I did was I tore the entire long mill down. I serviced the machine. Everything's been videoed. We're going to come out. Everything that we did is going to be 5 videos by the time all is said and done. I'm going to do one on the spindle setup. I'm going to do one on the maintenance on the long mill. One thing that's important with the spindle that I'm going to put a video out in a couple of days is inserting a dwell command into your post processor. So your program is always written to, as soon as it turns the spindle on, it's going to just do a pause for a moment to allow that spindle to wind up before it starts to move. So we call that a dwell command or a pause command. It's a G4 command. And yep. So I'm the video. I'm going to show you exactly how to change that post processor in the Vectric software. And I should probably do it so anybody else can change that as well. It's very important with the spindle, with the Makita trim router. You turn it on, it's up to full speed right away. With
Yeah.
spindles, they have wind up time, and so we have to allow that dwell time. Otherwise, it can move into the project and to start cutting while it's still coming up to speed, and it may not be up at the proper speed yet, and you can break a router bit that way, or even move your project.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So my tramming, I made a tramming bar in order to make this happen, to get the tramming done. I'll show this to you real quick. Julianne, expand my camera, please. So I made this. This is a tramming bar. She's working on getting it expanded. There we go. And it's 2 1/4-inch pins. This is 12 inches apart. And I'll chuck this end up in the machine, and then I can spin this around. Now this is 12 inches. When you spin it around 180 degrees, right? That's 2 feet of tram that I'm getting that way. And basically we're just eyeballing the bottom of this pin to the spoil board. And when I get it close enough, I'll put a piece of paper under it. And I just want to touch the paper. And I want to be able to, as close as I can, touch that paper all the way around 360 degrees. So very simple tramming tool that you can make. We are working on one for IDC as a product. So, but in the meantime, you can do something very simple like that. Just drilled 1/4-inch hole on each end and did a little saw cut and jammed these 2 1/4-inch pins in. And that's how that worked. But yeah, the spindle's up. And I got to tell you, if you are running a Makita trim router, once you get that water-cooled spindle up and set up, I'm going to share it again because I am just so excited. It took a while. It's the actual installation of the spindle equipment is quick, but it's getting all the new plumbing put in place. It takes a little more time. But I got to tell you, when that is running, I can sit here and talk to you like this. It is that quiet. I'm like, oh my God. And you can see the 2 water lines coming out of the top. So if you're interested in upgrading your CNC router from a Makita to a spindle, there's a company called PWN CNC. Julianne put the link in the comments, and there is a link in the description of the video. What they have is they have spindle adapter kits, and they're made for these benchtop machines, and they've got them set up so they will work for each machine. So you tell them you're buying it for the long mill, they're going to send you a special box for the long mill. If you get it for your Onefinity, they're going to send you a special box for the Onefinity. If you decide to get the spindle, I will ask you to use the link because it is an affiliate link. I will get a little bit out of that. It'll help me buy a burger and a beer and buy the girls a burger and a beer at the same time. They're back there nodding their head. Yeah. You girls want a burger and a beer?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did go out to dinner on Monday. The weekend you were sick, Kate. There was some conversation about the donations, and someone said, oh, you should take them out to dinner. And so then everybody was starting to contribute to take him out to dinner. So we all went out. We went out to a steakhouse. Unfortunately, Liberty wasn't feeling so good that day, so she had to leave a little early. But she got better pretty quickly. So anyway, I'm very excited about the spindle. This is the 80 millimeter spindle. It's very cool.
That's what I was going to ask. I was wondering if it was the 65 or the 80. Because I know on the Onefinity, like you can see behind me, I have my 2 rails, but normally if I do an 80 millimeter spindle, I have to get the 3rd rail, and it's actually called the Stiffy rail from Onefinity to be able to support the weight of the 80 millimeter. So do you feel like?
So the 80 millimeter is kind of weighty, and I'm going to see, I'll be paying attention to it. I think with the bench tops, you can get away with the 65 quite well. The 65 millimeter. In fact, I would probably recommend it. I got the 80 accidentally, and so I just decided to run with it because I intended to get the 65.
Gotcha.
All right.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, let's see who we've got next. We've got some questions piling up, so we'll try.
Hey, Michael Mazelic is here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's going spindle all day long.
I know,
Brother
right?
Mike, good to see you again. This is another guy we got to get on here. Mike is the master at Aspire.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And,
Incredible.
yeah, Julianne, please make a note of that for me to email Mike and see if he's going to be willing to show up and talk about Aspire.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Well, let's see. We've got Madika here says, have you thought about making a section in the app that shows list wood types, and then based on that type, the correct bit shows up?
Okay, so first of all, in the app, so what is that? Medaka? Okay, Medaka Madness. What he or she is talking about is the IDC Woodcraft CNC router bit app. Okay, is Medaka a oh well, I don't know if it's a girl or guy. So the IDC Woodcraft CNC router bit app. It's got the feeds and speeds. Very convenient, right? We came out with an app that helps save you having to search on a computer for this stuff. Feeds and speeds for all the router bits that IDC Woodcraft carries, and all the specs for the router bits. And you can order your router bits right from your phone, so you don't have to go to the computer and search things out. It's all right there. And so that is free from your app store, either Apple or Google. Just search IDC Woodcraft, and you'll find it. That's also linked in the description. Okay, so the question is, again, have I thought about making a section in the app that shows lists, wood types, and the based on type to the correct bit shows up? I have not thought about that.
I feel like that could really create a lot of different variables, because truly, I mean, you can use any type of bit on any type of wood. It's really the feeds and the speeds that matter. It depends on your machine rigidity. There's so many different factors. I mean, you can use extremely soft woods, extremely hard woods. You can use all different types of bits. It's really how deep of a pass can you take? So I can take a much deeper pass on a pine board. I can take, a half an inch. I could probably take, half an inch deep on pine, but would I do that on a piece of walnut or cherry? Absolutely not. So there are just a lot of variables. So really familiarizing yourself with the softness to the hardness category of different types of woods, and then also factoring in your machine, if you're using a router, if you're using a spindle, the rigidity of your machine. I mean, obviously, if you're going to throw a cherry piece of wood on a Bob CNC and expect to cut deep, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. That's not going to go very well. So, in all good fun for all of us that are just learning, I really encourage you to familiarize yourself with the different wood species that are out there, the hardness level that they have, and then also really look at your bits, and then what the bits are capable of as far as depth of cut, things like that. Those things can really help take you a long ways and keep you from creating a rather large burn pile, if you will.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The core of what Kate is saying is that it's difficult to distinguish bits to a certain type of wood. As Mark Lindsay commented, there are over 100,000 species of wood. All right. Anyone willing to set up feeds and speeds for all of them? Mark, I'll take that one on in 2083. How's that?
Oh, good Lord. Yes, that's a lot. Yes. Okay. So I'll refine my comment, maybe not as broad as what Mark has pointed out, but familiarize yourself with the types of woods that are maybe specific to your area, whether you're in Australia like Chris, or you're here in Indiana like Garrett and I, or you're like Mark that's over on the West Coast. So lots of different areas, but try to pick the woods that are going to be closest to you, most
Mhm.
popular in your area.
Yeah, and in this particular case, it's taken some time to understand what the different router bits, the applications of each type of bits. So we have up bits, down bits, compression bits, V bits. We have carbide, solid carbide bits, brazed bits, flat cutting bits. You know, gosh, drag bits, what have you. What I would suggest in the description of the video, and there's a link for um, the Kickstarter cheat sheet that I made. It's more like a Kickstarter guide that talks about router bits, and it talks about the design software and whatnot. Yeah, get familiar with the different type of bits. I've got a video out there. It's called the CNC router bit tutorial. Julianne, will you find that video and link that in the comments, please? And I would suggest that you watch that. Just do a search on YouTube for CNC router bit tutorial. And you can type in IDC in that search and it will come up as #1. And watch that video.
Yep. All right. All right, so let's see what we've got next. We've got Jeremy Gordon. Garrett, regarding your tool numbering, I noticed that the Badger is numbered low. Is your tool numbering consistent for the Vectric database? I'm going to enter them into my mass, so hoping these don't change.
Yeah. Okay, great question. First of all, what Jeremy is talking about is in the tool databases, it's standard procedure to number each router bit as a different number. And that's for CNC machines that have automatic tool changers, because you are just because it just has to work that way. And so I have in the IDC Woodcraft has made databases available for you, Vectric and the Carbide Create, Fusion 360, and Carveco, right? Where you can go to IDC Woodcraft website. At the top of the page, it says database downloads. Go there and you can get your database, and it has all the IDC Woodcraft router bits in it. Now, in the database, every tool is numbered individually, has its own tool number. So, Jeremy, to answer your question, #1, the tool numbers will not change in those databases. They are fixed. I can go up to 999 tool numbers, so I will never change those numbers. The reason the Badger is low is probably because I am starting to run out of two-digit numbers, and that was what I was trying to stick to, or in that particular sequence. I numbered based on sequence. So compression end mills, I gave them a number. I said 30 to 35 would be the number for that, and I ran out of those numbers, and so I had to pull a number from somewhere else that was still available. So that's basically the answer to your question is I will not change those numbers.
Very good. Very
and
good.
I hope that I explained a lot more to people so they understand what this numbering is when they see tool number in the database. If you have a machine that does not have an ATC or an automatic tool changer, those tool numbers are irrelevant to you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see who we've got here. It looks like we've got Cheryl is up next.
Hello, Cheryl. Hey,
yeah.
Talk about Women Who CNC. Here's a female creator here.
Yeah, so Cheryl, if you're not a part of our community over on Facebook, we have a group called Women Who CNC. It is a fantastic group of very, very talented women, some who are brand new to the journey and others that have been doing it for quite some time. So we have a wonderful group, and there's lots of education. There's all kinds of great things to do and be a part of in the group. So feel free to come check us out and join the group. All right, so let's see how we've got her question here. How do I, again, conference on a Cam Master Panther? I'm afraid of making a mistake.
I think she's got the typo here. How do I, again, conference? So Cam Master Panther, I believe, is a CNC brand.
Yeah.
But Cam Master implies to me that's a CAM-based software. Cheryl, ask your question again, a little bit more detailed, please.
Yeah. All right, we'll circle back to that one.
Okay, but we got a contribution here.
This is from Bakerville Boys for $20. Here's to a burger and a beer. Very nice.
Am I going to have to take the girls out to dinner again? You guys going to start donating to Kate? You're going to have to go out on this one. How he did that was in the IDC Woodcraft channel. I have brought the channel to a point where you can now donate if you feel like we're giving you value. So Kate and I always appreciate that, and we split whatever you guys give us. And so just below the video, there's a little icon or something there that you can press to make a donation. So
Very
thank
nice.
you. Thank you, brother.
All right. So up next we have Mr. Mark Tracy. Do you know any general reference books on CNCs? Not on specific software, but general operation info. Thanks.
Hey, Kate, just to let you know, your mic just went funny, and it sounded like you were talking like a robot.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, just turn it off and reset it. Do you know of any general reference books on CNCs? Not on specific software, but general operation info. There are a couple books out there. I don't have them. I have not picked them up. I know they're out there. And I also know that is one of the things on the IDC Woodcraft agenda is to create that a book like that. Julianne, will you do me a favor? Do a search on Amazon for CNC books for CNC woodworking. I know there's a couple out there, and Mark or Mike may have some answers. So if you guys might comment in there as well, please do so. But I can't drive you to any specific one.
All right. Is that any better?
Yes, you're back to human.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. All right. So let's see who we've got here now. Looks like, oh, okay. It looks like we've already done, that question might have come up twice. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So now we have Dale. It says, if you don't use Bob's Basic CAM and Sender, what other programs can you use for CNC Evo 4?
Okay, that's the Bob's. So he's using Bob's Basic Cam. So that's a basic cam software. Use GSender for cam software. That's writing the code. Well, for control software, you can use GSender, first of all. As far as the design software, Kate and I are Vectric people, right? So that's all I use. That's all I have used. Mark, Lindsay, will you please, and some other of the experienced people, put some of the other software you can use. So Bob's is a Arduino-based machine, just so you know. Okay. So, yeah, Dale, watch the comments and take it from there. This is what I like about this stuff is that we got a bunch of brothers and sisters that can help out.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Regarding the book, okay, I knew Mark would have some information here. This is George Mondrisk has a CNC book on Amazon, but the title escapes him. So Julianne,
it focuses on Vectric software, though.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Okay, Julianne, did you find anything? Just nod your head. She's still looking.
Okay. All right. Well, while people are trying to recall some book names, let's take our next question. So we've got a Facebook user. He or she is saying, what thickness CA glue is ideal for holding projects to a spoil board? I personally use a medium, just like a medium hold. It doesn't have to be crazy, but I mean, I guess it really just depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, what do you normally use?
I use the thin.
Yeah.
It's set so lightning fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't use the thick. Thick just, I mean, I guess you can get away with it. You sure can, but it's just it's how long you want to hold that board in place.
Mm-hmm.
How long with the medium? You use the spray, the accelerators?
I use the accelerator. It's usually like 20 seconds, if that. Okay. I mean, we're talking like that would be like way maximum. I mean, I used the medium tack when I did the beast video, and I had CA glue and the blue tape, and the beast was, I think, at 100 IPM at 3/4 of an inch thick. It was tearing through it just fine. I think it was when I went to the inch deep, and that's when it was like, it was kind of doing some funny different things. But I think it was also overpowering the router at that point too. So, you know, we kind of had a little bit of pull and tug and pull, if you will.
Right. The beast, the bit that Kate is talking about, if you haven't heard of it, it's a bit, a router bit that IDC Woodcraft puts out. It's what we call a roughing end mill, and you can't really tell in the picture here. Julianne, can you expand my picture? But
it's your hand behind it.
Try that. Well, the camera doesn't autofocus. It's serrated, and it's designed. It's a roughing bit. It's designed to remove material really fast, and it's not designed to leave a clean cut. It's just designed to cut down your runtime on your machine. And so we have the beast, we have the hog, and we just released the badger. And somebody commented at the beginning of just before the beginning of the show how they love the badger. The badger is a 1/8 roughing bit. So. We'll throw those in the description for those of you who are, what's your take on the beast, Kate?
I really like the beast. I personally, if I had to choose like one or the other, I really like the hog. I like the hog better, and here's why. It has the length that I really like because I cut a lot of really deep pieces.
Okay.
And I really think the searing action on the hog is a lot smoother. Now, I know you told me that the beast was a little bit rougher, but you have to remember, the beast is also designed, it's going to be moving a lot of material very, very quickly. So I think it's a little bit rougher, but also you have to remember, if you're not really looking to do a finishing with the beast, that's not the purpose of it. But I can say this, I've cut lots of bowls and things like that with the hog where I've done the outside perimeter of it, and it's actually done exceptionally well. Like, I've had to do very, very little sanding on the outside of the bowls with that. Now, if I did that with the beast, you know, it's kind of 50-50 depending on what I'm using, on what type of wood I'm using.
Gotcha. Okay, there you go. So someone that's used it. Here's a picture of the beast and the hog sold as a combo, so you get a better picture of what they look like. These are 1/4 inch bits, and very aggressive bits.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are scared to use them. I've heard that time and time again, and I just want to say this: if you are nervous about using them, treat it like any other bit. Just know that you can run it at a deeper pass, and you can run it with the speeds recommended. I even use the badger quite a bit. I actually just did a whole YouTube video on it over on my channel, Women Who CNC, and I did a tree of life project. And normally that bit, like if I had tried to clean out my 1/8 inch little leaves and the vines and the roots and everything, it would probably take me about an hour to an hour and a half, and the badger took that down to, I want to say, right at like 35 or 40 minutes. Now, keep in mind, I was doing a 24 inch circle, so still a rather big project. But then I just went in with my 1/8 inch end mill, and I did a profile pass with the offset that I was using it on. I walk through that whole step, even in Vectric, how to use the actual badger bit with the offset. But those bits are so powerful, and they really can up the game as far as like time is concerned. Even on my 3D projects, people ask me that all the time. Hey, do you use these roughing bits on 3D projects? Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
100%. Like, use that, remove the material, get it out of the road, then come back in. Like, I'll say either use your badger or your beast, whatever you have. Then come in with like your 1/4 inch ball nose. Then you can come in and kind of smooth things up, and then bring in your taper ball noses after that. I mean, think of the amount of time that you are saving and you're not using your end mills. You're not destroying them. So it's really a win-win. So don't be afraid to use them. Just grab yourself something from that burn pile, run yourself a simple little toolpath in Vectric or whatever you're using, and try it. Just do it.
Yep. I do have a recommendation when you're using those and you're running them at the aggressive feeds and speeds that we give you. You want to also clamp the projects down. Right?
Yes.
They can break away the CA glue.
Yes.
So, yeah. Darn, I was just holding a thought that I wanted to share and I forgot. I know it'll come back. Well, we got another donation here, another contribution to our dinner. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got Trade Skillers Anonymous for $20. Thank you. Always look forward to Wednesday nights with everyone here on video and in the chat. Love the CNC and woodworking community. Less shop and video making bandwidth right now, so this is a great way to still feel it.
Yay! That's what community is about. You know, it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood.
Yes.
This is something I realized in this whole journey. CNC brothers and sisters. Why do we get together? You know, it's many of us, like when we get into retirement, it's like we need something new to belong to and something to give us creativity. And it's not just us going into retirement, but it's, you know, people like Kate who wants to belong to something and be part of something bigger than her and me. And this is what I love about this. So it's just so inspiring.
And I'm sorry for those of you if you can hear my air compressor in the background.
Can't hear it.
Oh, praise the Lord, because I hear it on the other side of my wall and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Can't hear it. I've asked Julianne if she would make a list. There was several books that were being suggested in the comments. So I asked Julianne to make a list of all that. And what we're going to do is we will put them in the description later, and I'll also get them listed on the website. Kate, we should get that to you as well, so you can get that on your website.
Yeah.
And if you want stuff for epoxy, Kate is a big epoxy girl.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to start doing some one-on-ones because you guys know I'll do Vectric training and one-on-ones, which are great. You can sign up with me through that over on the IDC Woodcraft website, or you can sign up on my Women Who CNC website. Either one is fine. But we do have, oh gosh, what was I going to say? I think your brain rubbed off onto my brain. Oh, I was going to say about the epoxy. I'm going to start doing some one-on-ones. So if you have an interest in epoxy and you want just some, you know, basic information about where to start, what types to pick, there's lots of different opportunities out there for you. So, you know, reach out to me. I would love to help you grow and expand your knowledge.
Help you get over the humps and hurdles that you've run into from time to time.
Got it.
And on that note, how do you get over humps and hurdles? By getting trained, getting the skills from the right places. So many of us will get the software and we'll just dive in and try to figure it out ourselves at first in this whole CNC router thing. And that's why Kate and I and Mark Lindsay and Mike Mazelic all make YouTube channels to help you out. The problem with that is you do a lot of searching, and the whole core of your CNC journey is the design, right? The whole foundation of creating your stuff is the design work. And if you use them, what you want to do is go out and find courses that are relevant to the software that you use. There's someone out there that does Carveco. Kyle Ely does the Vectric, right? Which Kate and I always recommend. And we recommend him so much. He's listed in the description of the video. If you're using Vectric and you're trying to figure it out, you can schedule one-on-ones and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, right, get the training, because there's a lot to the software. And if you're not really savvy in design work, that is the place to start, because Kyle walks you all the way through from the very beginning. You will have a total understanding of the software by the time you're done.
Yeah, because the machine's only going to do what the software tells it to do. So if you program the software incorrectly, the machine is going to act a fool. So it's a hard lesson to learn, but a lot of us are hard heads. Not gonna lie, myself included. We're all hard heads. We all like to do the most difficult, complicated project we can possibly find and start there. So, if that's you, don't feel alone, because I'm sure every one of us can raise our hands up along with you and go, "Yep, I did the exact same thing." So, take the time, invest in your knowledge. You took the time to invest in the machine. So make sure that you're investing in yourself as well, because knowledge is something that no one can ever take away from you. And once you have that, you're just really kind of limitless. So
yeah. And just on the note of what you just said, you bought the machine, you bought the tooling, you bought the software, you bought all the equipment for your shop. Now buy what you need to make all that work up here, right? That's really where it all comes together. We got 20 questions sitting out here, Kate. We've been talking for a little while. Let's hammer it out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. All right, so we've got Ken Bouchard up next. Hi, Ken. He's asking, how do you keep shipping costs low? I'm in Canada, but I'm looking into the cost of selling online, and the cost of shipping anything is insane.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Canadian post just inside of Canada is relatively expensive. In the U.S., when we're shipping state to state, it's not that expensive when you're doing basic shipping. I don't know. But shipping up to Canada for us is a challenge even. It's hard. Shipping costs, the best way to keep shipping costs low is by going into a shipping service. There's one called ShipStation. We were using one called Shipping Easy. And you want to use those services if you're doing relatively high volumes. If you ship onesies and twosies, you want to go use one called Pirate Ship. Go to pirateship.com. Right? You've used that, right, Kate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those
I really like Pirate Ship. It's very, personally, I have found they have the best rates around, because Pirate Ship basically, it searches for all of the carriers around you, and then they give you the best rate. And I like it because, it's linked right to your debit card or bank card or whatever you're using. You can keep track of shipping. You can keep track of inventory. You can do all the things right there. And they have a free version and they have a paid version. So I would definitely encourage you to check that out. But as far as shipping items, I don't know what you're making, but I don't know if you can size down or scale down what you're looking to sell. I mean, that's definitely an option. I know when I converted my business in 2020, I had a paint party business and I made big signs and big clock parties and like 20, 2 foot by 2 foot clocks that I was taking to these parties, which was fine. But when COVID hit, it was a whole different animal. I had to literally rescale every single thing I was making to fit inside of, it was a pizza box. I got creative and figured out how to ship my items. And I'm like, how do I do this effectively? Because this is bananas. Yeah. Kind of like what you're feeling. Everything was insane. So I just felt like the world was on fire. So I refigured out every single sign I had with the frame, how to put the paints in there, how to put all the tools in there. And I could get it into different size pizza boxes because those were literally the flattest box that I could find. So
so when we get a package from Papa John's, they open it up and there's paint stuff in there, right?
Yep. I mean, you can buy flat rate shipping or pizza boxes. I think I bought them at Gordon Food Service, so GFS. Here in the US, I'm sure you guys, they sell they're just like a big, they cater to restaurants, stuff like that. Yeah. So I could buy 40 pizza boxes for $32 or something crazy. But it kept my business alive. It kept my rates down, and people could still buy what they wanted to do. So
these online shipping services also tend to get better rates than directly at the post offices.
Oh yeah.
They work up contracts with the carriers. So that's another way of keeping your shipping costs down. You're in Canada. I don't know how it works in Canada.
Yeah. So Oz, so thank you, Oz. This is $20. The girls need a meal and a night out.
Good Lord. We're going to have the IDC dinner night out every week. You guys keep this up.
There you go. There you go. They love it.
Yeah. No, thank you, Oz. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're
Um,
getting close to it again. All right.
yeah. So I had another quick thought on the shipping.
Yeah.
If you're not shipping smaller items and you do have large items, call up either, whoever your main carrier is and see if they have like large parcel rates if you're going to be shipping quite often. I have a girlfriend of mine, she actually owns an Etsy shop and she ships huge like canvas signs. And I'm always like, how do you get such good rates? And she's like, I just called them up and said, hey, here's the size I'm shipping. Can you give me a better rate? And they worked with her and she gets a great rate on shipping. So don't be afraid to reach out to the companies and tell them what you need.
Yeah. Hey, we're getting to the top of the hour. So get your questions in. At the top of the hour, we cut them off. So speaking of questions, we got 17 and I saw a couple more hanging out there that haven't been started yet. So.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we've got here. So up next, we've got Edward Clausen. He says, making a wasteboard and I'm thinking keeping it simple with T-tracks. How far apart would you recommend? I have a 48 by 48 machine.
That's you, Kate. I don't have T-tracks.
Well, let me go look and see what mine are. I don't know. So it looks like mine are about 4 3/4 a piece. And then these two, I have two smaller ones that are right about 3 inches. Yeah. So 4 3/4 are about how far mine are apart.
Yeah. I may switch over to T-track eventually. There you go.
Yep.
How about when it comes to that type of spoil board where you have segments that are running between the T-tracks? They're relatively easy to change them out.
Yeah. I don't have inserts on mine, and primarily just because I do a ton of profile cuts and I'm constantly cutting stuff out. So yes, I am cutting into my spoil board. So I like to have something that I can just quickly surface, take off, and just, pull the boards in. I can literally take them over to the table saw, put it on top of another piece of wood, measure it off, cut it, bring it back in, slap it down, and I'm done. I'm good to go.
Okay.
So it's kind of like once you get it nailed down, it's rinse and repeat. But I did recently just order another set of T-tracks when I redid this one, and now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. I have 10.
Okay.
I have 10.
Have you ever run into the tracks?
Nope.
No.
Nope. So what I actually did on this one, I got a little smart, because I do cut like relatively, like almost like full size as far as my Onefinity will go as far as width. And so what I would do is I would have the sign at like almost all the way out to the soft limit, which was really frustrating when you're bringing it out. So I actually, when I squared up my machine to figure out where the points were, where I needed to put the edges of my T-tracks, what I did was I actually took the T-track and I put it inside the line, and then I nailed that down, or I screwed that into my table, and then I put the wood down. So wherever my board is, I literally I know I can come all the way to that far front left corner, and I'm never ever going to hit that soft limit, because that T-track gives me that just like, I don't know, 1/2 inch clearance or whatever.
Gotcha.
So there's nothing worse than putting a project down on it and getting it Z'd up and everything, and then you're like, soft limit error. You're just like,
gotcha.
Ah!
Yeah.
Then you got to go back into Vectric and, refinagle things. It's just annoying.
Yeah, we got another one. All right, I'm going to bring the girls out, because now these guys are to the few beers or tea. So, girls, what are you? Are you beer girls or you tea girls? Julianne, you had tea the other day.
Well, yeah, but it depends on, is it like a hard tea or is it just like a normal?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, now we're talking.
Because that is a definite.
Because if it's between alcohol or no alcohol, then
That's
Oh,
true.
no.
And to be fair, the tea that I did have was not in any way a Southern sweet tea. It was very Northern. It was not sweet enough. And I think we got another one from Eric too.
Yeah, we
that
did.
just popped up there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Eric.
Y'all are honoring. You just love spoiling the ladies. Eric says, you guys rock. Looking forward to the poker run. Ha ha.
All right. All right. So fill us in on this poker run thing, Julianne. I don't know what we're talking about here. What are you volunteering me for?
Well, it was just an idea. Everybody was talking about getting their bikes, ready. They're, ready for spring, summer.
Oh,
I was
this
like,
was in the chat before the
yeah,
whole
this
show
was in the
started.
chat before we
Liberty,
started.
were you part of this dialogue too?
Nope, I hopped in too late.
And so I kind of threw an idea out there of us having a poker run that goes and have the stops at everybody's shop or garage, and it ends at the IDC shop.
Oh, fun.
There were also ideas of, once everybody finishes, that there would be a discount or possibly a lot of M&Ms, or I don't know. There's it's starting to be a thing. So I think I may possibly be
or a lot of beer and tea
planning.
Oh.
We'll see.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
well, looks like we got something going. All right. Well, thank you, Eric. Now we are.
Thank you, Eric.
This is definitely coming to another dinner. So, Kate, you have to get your hiney down here. All right, let's move on.
Boy. All right, let's see who we. Yep. All right, let's see who we've got up next here. So Eric is asking a question. It says, "Can I scale a group of vectors to a different size without dragging the corners?"
Oh yes. Do you want to take this one, Kate, or do you want me to do it?
Are you looking to open Vectric, or?
I'll have it open.
Okay, I'll let you take it then, since you're gonna.
Okay. Let me move things around here a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a cool little tool or way technique that you guys can learn from when it comes to working with the software. Okay, so that's my most complicated project I've ever worked on right there.
It's a doozy.
That is a doozy.
It's a beaut, Clark.
Yeah, that's where I was just, it's a beaut. All right, well, we'll work with that circle. So let me just shut some things down here. So we got a circle, and
here, let me hide this.
so let's see how big that circle is. I have it selected, and I'm popping in there. That circle's 5 inches in diameter. So let's say I want this circle to be 4 inches in diameter instead. So what we can do is we can select that, and when we go, can you see my screen?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. We want to come over to the transform objects area, and it's the second icon in from the left. When you hover over it, it says scale selected objects. And when you select that, we can scale this in a number of different ways. So we can scale based on the 4 corners or the center. If you notice, right in the menu at the left, there are pick points, radio buttons, and we can select where we want to scale from. And right now it is selected in the center, which is where I'm going to change that from. And down below that, it has an area where it says width and height. So this circle is 5.5 inches in diameter. And so both of them says 5.5, 5.5. And so what I can do is simply change that to the size that I want. Now, I want to scale this down both in the X and the Y, so that little checkbox needs to be checked. That's the aspect ratio. We're locking the aspect ratio between the X and the Y values. So I'm going to hit 4, and that changes it for both of them. And I hit apply, and it changes the size of the circle. If I want to change that one way and not the other, then I uncheck that aspect ratio box, and I'll change my width to 6, and now it'll turn into an oval because it didn't change the other one. So it's got a percentage thing there, and I can switch over to percent. It's got a little drop down box. Say we want to go from 100% to 80%. Just click the drop down box, pick your percentage, and then in one of the two boxes, so in that little pick box, you can pick any corner that you want to do that from. So those are that's how you can change the size of the project.
All right. Very cool. You dropped out for like 2 seconds, but I think we got like 99% of it.
Okay.
All right. Well, Eric, I hope that was helpful for you. It's always nice to see it in Vectric. Oh, my apologies for that. All right. So we have, looks like Showbud10. He says he has a question. I have been cutting deep pockets at 22 passes. After each pass, the tool will retract, go up, back to the start. Is there a way to start the passes without going back to the start?
Yeah. No. Your post processor it's a combination between the post processor and the CAM software that is keeping that to happen that way. I don't know if you can change the post processor. I would have to take a look. I'm sure you can, but I would say no. I would say don't do that because if we can do it the way I'm thinking we're going to do it, it's a complicated way of doing it. And if you don't know exactly what you're doing, you can cause problems.
Nobody needs more problems.
No.
I tried to do that with the BuildBotics motors on my Onefinity because I have, like I said, the BuildBotics motors. I don't have the new Masso controllers, and you cannot do. So let's say you have a pocketing toolpath, and you're trying to change from a 1/4 inch bit down to an 1/8 inch bit, and then you save the G code, and then you try to run it as like one toolpath, so the 1/4 inch would run, and then it would come back, and it'll say change the tool. Well, on the BuildBox motors on the Onefinity, you cannot raise the Z. It's just like a flaw in the system. They're not planning to fix it. They know about it, but a lot of people struggle with it, and they don't understand why. It's not going to work. I've tried. I've put in like 50,000 different combinations tried to edit the post processor or not the post processor, I'm sorry, the G code. I've tried to edit the G code to like raise it or to get it to come back and do all kinds of different things. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So save them as separate toolpaths.
Yeah. One of the things you can do to speed it up is increase your plunge rate. I want to say, Eric, you asked a question about scaling. Mark Lindsay made a comment. You want to check that out. Kate, we also have a couple more donations here.
Oh my goodness. You guys are so generous. All right. So this is from Dennis. This is $15. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge.
Thank you, Dennis.
We are happy to help.
Totally. This is a highlight of what we do, right? When we get together and we can talk to you, hang with you, teach you what we know, ask everybody else when we don't know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're helping build a community. And here's the other one.
Oh my goodness. Trade Skillers Anonymous, $20. Audience, if you added a CNC to your woodworking work flow on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most, how much impact has it had on your creative thinking? If you score low, is that you're still new to it? So
let's see. If you see your workflow, scale 1 to 10, how much impact has it had on your creative thinking? And we're getting 10s.
I would say a 10 for me.
Totally a 10. And here's one. Ellen said CNC is 100. All right. Yeah, this is an interesting question, and it's probably worth diving into just a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
There's often, first of all, thank you, Trade Skillers, for the contribution, donation, and the question. All right. I don't see any ones down here, right? There's an 8. There is 1 8. All right, that's the only 8 that I've seen. So
Bruce said bump it up to 11.
yeah. So what would you say on that question, Kate?
I mean, like I said, I would say it's a 10. It's definitely opened up my scope of thinking as far as what possibilities are truly out there. I mean, I've always been a very creative person, but this has literally opened the scope tenfold for me. I mean, it broke me into the world of epoxy. I always had messed with epoxy with like little keychains and my Cricut and stuff like that. But now I'm building huge river tables and doing all this really cool, fun, exciting stuff, and then incorporating that in with my CNC. And I have all kinds of people asking me, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? And yes, I can. Now, if I'm willing to, it's a different subject when it comes to all the different, 5 bajillion different custom products. But
Right. I want to bring Liberty out on this particular question. Are you ready, Liberty? Okay. Yeah. So the question was on a scale of 1 to 10, how 10 being the highest for creativity. Liberty hasn't run machines a whole lot yet. I've been wanting to get her on it, but she is wanting to learn. But how would you answer that question, Liberty?
I would say 10 or more, because even though I haven't run the machine a whole lot, I am already exploding with ideas, and I'm sitting here taking Kyle's course, and like I'm already making files for things that I want to make, and so yeah, 100%.
All right. So what does it do for you inside? What?
For me, it's opened up the possibilities of like what I can accomplish, with different skill sets,
All right. Cool. All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah.
100%.
Love CNC. And this is the other aspect of it. Look how many people are hanging here. We have right now 186 people on board.
Yeah.
Right? It builds community, and everybody in this community is helping each other because we're all on the same journey. We want to create stuff.
Yeah. 100%. It's been a life-changing experience for me. At first, it was just the Onefinity community that I joined in the Facebook group, which if you're not a part of Facebook groups and you're kind of like anti-social media, I would really, really strongly encourage you to just do Facebook. If you don't do anything else, like you don't have to create some big elaborate profile, but just get on so you can be a part of the groups and ask the questions and meet some different people. I cannot tell you some of the coolest people I met when I first started. They became like instant friends. Like I could send them messages and they were like, hey, yeah, I've had that problem before. Like, just do this. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Like, I cannot advocate for that enough. There are so many groups. There's Vectric groups. There's Vectric Design and Aspire groups. There's a Onefinity group. There's Longmill groups. There's
Women Who CNC.
Women Who CNC groups. There's CNC entrepreneurs. I mean, blah,
yeah.
Groups galore.
You can vomit it out, for goodness sake. Yeah. But the other thing is I have figured out about 60 to 70% of people do this because they see the potential to create their own destiny.
Yes.
Right. To do something that not only can they create, they can create a money-making business out of, which is something both Kate and I talk about a lot. And if you're focused and you trust the process, like Ellen, you'll walk right into it. Right? There's nothing like having your own stuff going on. All right.
Yeah.
Love the question.
All right. Let's do it. All right, so we've got Wandering Star. Order the long mill beginner's kit. Comes with Makita. Use that till it burns out. PWN CNC makes air and water-cooled spindles. Which is better? Weight on gantry and noise. Looks like both same price.
Yeah. So I would say so water cooled is quieter than the air cooled. Moving air just makes noise. It just does. Think about the fan in your window. So water cooled, it is. I can sit here and talk to you just like this, and you are hearing exactly what you're hearing from my machine until it's actually starting to cut. The cutting tool is going to make some noise. So they're both generally the same weight when it's the same size range. So 65, when you get the PWN spindle, get the 65. I'm going to be running this 80, and I want to really see if it's going to stress out the machine or not, all right? Because there is not like that extra security bracket that you have for the 150.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you do that, I'd ask you to use the link that I have. That would help buy a burger and a beer for the girls.
Yeah. So the water cooled spindles and the 65 millimeter are going to be the biggest thing. But the biggest thing the biggest takeaway I see from this entire question is welcome to the family and congratulations on ordering your first long mill, your new beginner. You're showing up here. You're already on the right track. So congratulations to you and your new machine. I'm so excited.
And Wandering Star, if you're female or male, whatever, if you're a female, make sure you find Kate's group on Facebook, Women Who CNC. It's a women's only CNC group. So, and you'll find Ellen, who's here hanging out with us at the same time. Jen, she's not there. She's not here today at night, I don't think. Cheryl,
I saw her in there.
Okay.
Yeah, she's popped in there.
All right. Hi, Jen. Sorry.
Oh. But so there's lots of cool stuff. Or you can go over to the Women Who CNC website, just womenwhocnc.com. Check it out. There's all kinds of good resources there. So, all right. So I hope that was helpful to you. This is a great question from Cheryl again. She is looking to find a mentor in her area of Central Florida. Maybe you can help with this one.
Well, it depends. Sometimes people say when they say mentor, they are talking about CNC router guidance. All right. So if you're asking for someone to be with you physically, then Kate is on her website is building a map of people. So you may want to go to her website, create an account, and see if there's somebody in your area that has a CNC. You can go to Facebook groups and ask if someone's in Florida. Go to Women Who CNC group and ask there first, right?
Yep, we have a lot of that.
Yep. And then find out if there's somebody in your area, and if not, then you can expand out a little bit and ask in other groups. Business mentoring, that's stuff that can be done online. I mean, Kate and I mentored Kate for quite a while, still mentor her, but she's doing her thing now, and right. So we don't talk nearly as much, not in the last few weeks. But on business end, you don't need to have somebody with you if that's what you're going to be doing. You can be on the phone and talk to people.
Absolutely.
But I would schedule one-on-one with Kate. She can help you out too. That's linked. That's linked in the description of this video.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, let's tackle another question here. So we've got a good question from Tom. Have either of you heard of the Shaper Origin Trace? Just ordered one for $100 because it seemed interesting and definitely a lot of potential. Yes, I have seen those. I was actually at a woodworking show here in Indianapolis. I am shocked that you got one for $100. I know the ones that I've seen are several $1,000s. So I'm kind of wondering if you must have gotten a heck of a deal on it or something. But yeah, they are very, very cool machines. They have a very large bandwidth to do big signs like yard ornaments, things like that. So yes, I know what they are, and they are very cool. So I hope you have good luck with yours, and you make some cool stuff. You'll have to post in one of the groups and show us what you're making, because I'd definitely be interested.
But Mark Lindsay said the trace is not the same as the shaper origin. So
Okay.
because it is much less expensive than the shaper origins.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a shout out for you.
Aw, this is from Carolyn. She says, I did a one-on-one with Kate. She is fabulous and built my confidence. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. I love that. That makes my whole week. Thank you.
Just let you know, the idea of one-on-one, it does cost, right? You're paying Kate for her skill and her time. And sometimes we're afraid to actually put that money out to do it. But at the end of the day, you are going to go miles beyond what you think you're going to go in a one-on-one session.
Yeah.
So it's always worth that time.
Yeah. And if you have questions about it, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger. I have several people that do that. If you're interested to see what other people have seen, you can go over to Garrett's website at idcwoodcraft.com and check that out. It's under the Learning Center. I actually have several reviews over there if you want to check those out. So don't be afraid to reach out. I'm not going to bite, I promise.
Right.
Not hard anyway. No.
All right. We're sitting on 21 questions.
Oh goodness. All right, let's knock out some questions, and then remind me later. I have some big news I want to share. So remind me after let's knock out like at least 10 of these questions.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, so we have Max Garcia. Garrett, your router project setup checklist, you mentioned to set your X, Y, and Z points on the CNC, then make sure they are registered on your CNC control. What do you mean registered?
What a great question. I'm going to fire up. It is fired up. Okay. So first of all, if you go to the idcwoodcraft.com website, you're going to get a pop-up. And that pop-up is going to encourage you to get this sheet right here. This is a setup checklist. There, as you can see, this is just setting up your project on your CNC machine. It's making sure you get the right router bits, the right programs installed, you've secured your project properly, you've set your XYZ 0 points, and then you've double checked everything. All right. So good. If you don't have this, go to idcwoodcraft.com and that pop up, you can get it straight from there. And I think I've got it linked down below where you can just go to that. Okay, so we are going to, I don't have it hooked up right now, but I think I can show you. So the question is, what do I mean by making sure your X, Y, and Z are registered in your control? And I'm going to show you exactly if it's going to come up here. I might have to shut it down and restart it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. So, but I can explain this. When you set your probe, your tool, whether you set the tool manually, you'll position it on a corner, and you're eyeballing your X and your Y and your Z, or you're using a tool probe, which will automatically come in and zero the tool. That is going to show up on your control software. And it should show up as a, it's going to show up, it's going to reset the X, Y, and Z start points to what that probe has said that is the start point. And yeah. I have seen it on occasion, not only in my control, but I've seen it in other controls where that, even though the machine acted the way it was supposed to, it touched the probe, it touched the sides, and then it went back up, that it didn't register in the software. So you need to actually look on your control screen and make sure your X, Y, and Z's adjusted appropriately. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Brought it back up. So I'm going to see if it'll show, if I can share.
It's kind of the same way, like I call it my sanity check for when I'm doing, like if I use the paper method and I want to do a, make sure all my axes are zeroed out. You know, when you're manually putting it on the corner of a project and you're using the paper method, you want to make sure you zero all of your axes. So I call it making that, that to me is what it would mean to be registered. So then that way your control panel actually looks like what it's supposed to be. Like I know when I use my touch probe, I know almost exactly when it pops up on my screen. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. Because after using your touch probe for so many different projects, you kind of learn like what the numbers are that
You should be seeing.
Need to be showing up. So if something looks off, I'm like, that's not right.
Right. Yeah, I brought it up here. So let's pop that back off the screen. All right. So right up in the G Center software, you've got your XYZ 0. It's showing gray because I'm not hooked up to the machine right now. But you want to make sure these numbers change accordingly for your XYZ 0 position. So if your tool has moved and you're probed and it's showing 7 inches and it's only a half an inch away from the thing, you know that it didn't register in the software. And so you need to go back and do that cycle again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Important
All
step.
right. Very cool.
You know what inspired that? There was a creator. He made a table, river table, $7,000 table. He had $3,500 in it. And he was getting ready to surface it. He probed it with the surfacing tool and then went to run it. And that surfacing tool just dug right down into the table when it's going to the corner. Fortunately, he had enough material left that he could still make that table. But he probed it. It just didn't register in the software.
I would cry.
Yeah.
I would cry. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Moving on here. Let's knock out these questions. So it looks like Gerard. Garrett, is there anything you had to do to support the weight of the spindle?
I have not done anything to support the weight. Oh, I take that back. Yes, I have. Because that spindle does have that much weight, I had to change a code in the firmware of the software. So it was set up so that when the machine, long mills are set up, and I suspect yours is too, when the machine gets to its Z position or any position and that motor is not needing to drive anymore, the motor will actually drop the power off that motor. And so the motor, you can actually freewheel it even when you wouldn't want it to, right? You can grab the screw and turn it. And the reason they do that is to take the load off the motors and off the control boards. So there is a setting that you can put in any of your control software. When I put the video out, I will have that in the description of the document I'm going to create for it. But that setting, it's a one quick setting. And what that will do is it's called motor holding or motor locking, where it doesn't release the power to the motor. It's just not sending pulses to make it turn. So it's actually got the motor locked. So that is one thing I have done. It's that prevents the spindle from drifting downward as it's making a dart. All right. But as far as weight support, I haven't done anything other than added the brackets that they sent to me. I'll bring those up. Yeah, I'll bring that up in the picture again real quick.
So is there an option, like is there a machine out right now that Long Mill has that would support an 80 millimeter spindle? I'm just totally curious.
So when they come out with the alt mill, that will be much more suitable to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see how this goes. But you can see that the bracket that's mounting that on there is much beefier, and the backing plate is a whole new backing plate, so that everything mounts on. It's actually easier to work with.
Yeah, it looks nice with the drag chain and everything on there.
Yeah, it's a new drag chain because I had the water lines going through there. Also, I would just recommend anyone who has a long mill that has the original bracket, that you get the 65 millimeter bracket from PWN. It's a beefier bracket.
Yeah.
Julianne, no, never mind. Just go to PWN and PWN CNC. Use the link. Throw the link in there, Julianne. Throw the link in the description or in the comments.
Okay.
And click that and just find the bracket for the 65 millimeter for the long mill.
All right. Got it. So this question from Eric, he is asking if there is a muscle check for the water-cooled spindle.
There are muscle chucks for the different ones. They do not have an ER 16 or 20 yet with the 1/4-inch bore in it. And so I'm talking to him about getting one with a 1/4-inch bore made. All right, because it's the bench tops, nobody has 1/2-inch tooling, and the bench tops generally can't handle 1/2-inch tooling. So it's kind of pointless to have a 1/2-inch muscle chuck, but yes, they do have them. But they're 1/2-inch. You have to use a reducer collet. I'm not going to stock those with the 1/2-inch yet. I'm going to focus on the 1/4-inch. Well, I will get the 1/2-inch in, but eventually.
So many things.
We'll get there.
So many things.
Yeah, well, yeah. Tell me about it. Right, Julianne?
All right.
So many things today that she has told me about. She's got me writing some serious checks, her and Liberty.
Oh boy.
Yeah, very serious.
Well, just get busy. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right. This is from Jerry Karp. He says, I keep seeing you and others reference being able to use your iPhone to control your long mill CNC. However, no one is showing all the steps to complete the setup process. Why is that?
You know what? Go to the video. I got a video that says just type in control your CNC with your phone in YouTube. I created a video that tells you how to do it. Watched it through the whole setup.
You bet.
Yeah.
You bet.
So Kate, you had an announcement, but I did want to. You wanted to share something. I did want to share before you do that. We are going this weekend. The IDC Woodcraft team and my daughter are going to. We've been invited to a dinner, a formal dinner over the weekend, with the Missing Alexis Foundation, and that's where we're going to present a $2,000 donation check to them.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's really cool.
Yeah. All right. What did you want
You're
to share?
doing great things. Well, I think we should tackle a few more questions, and then we'll share mine. All right. Let's see what we've got here. So we've got Rich. I'm so sorry. Kate, have you switched over to the Elite yet? If so, what are the benefits? No, but this is great. This is a great lead question. So I have 2 big new things that I am adding to my shop. So no, I have not switched over to the Elite. But what are the benefits of the Elite Onefinity is what he's talking about. So you have the Masso controllers, you have the Masso motors. You have a much bigger screen, and you have the e-stop right on the screen. Everything is touchscreen with the new Elite. It's a beast of a machine. I mean, I've seen some people do some pretty wicked things with that. The Masso controllers are, would you consider them industrial, Garrett?
The Elite, no.
Or just like a Masso controllers with the Elite?
Oh, Masso controller has it's like an industrial controller. It has the capabilities of running industrial level G code. Yeah, it can't run industrial level machines, but it's a badass controller for sure.
Yeah, there are a lot of things you can watch, the carve in real time right there on your screen. It's a pretty incredible machine. I would definitely consider myself lucky to purchase one later this year and get that, but I know there are lots of users in the Onefinity group that are purchasing them. So if you have questions about all the benefits, I would definitely reach out to them. I don't want to speak to that, but I know the Masso motors in the whole setup is it is elite. So hence the name.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like we've got a question here for you from Rod. Did you have to change the size of the stepper motor to handle the water-cooled spindle?
No, I didn't change the size. So still NEMA 23s.
All right. All right. So up next, we have a question from
So I'm
Ellen.
just going to say something to that, with the heavy
Sure.
spindle on that, right? Because I've seen other users get these 80, the 80 diameter spindles, right? And we don't always have to have bigger is better, right? I mean, we got a good machine, and all your bench tops have their limits. And so
Yes.
I know that this spindle has, exceeds the limit of the machine, right? I'll never have a problem with this spindle again. I don't think, right? I won't have a burnout like in my breath. But the point is sometimes we don't need to get massive to get the same results.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, next question.
Yes. I think that's a great.
Yeah, I would have gotten the 65. This was an accident on my part when I made the order. I hit the wrong button. And I just said,
Honest
okay, the
mistake.
hell of it, I'll roll with it.
There you go. There you go. All right. Question from Miss Ellen. Question. We talk speeds and feeds all the time that you get the feel of it over time. However, how important is the plunge rate?
You want to say anything about it?
Well, I know how I feel about it, but I know you've run the Vectric database, and you talk a lot about the plunge in there.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear it from just your perspective, because it's never something you and I have ever really talked about.
Yeah, my perspective is we start off conservative and then we work our way up. When it comes to plunge rates, even in the IDC Woodcraft database, the plunge rates are conservative. You can usually amp those up, and you can, depending on the bit type, you can generally get your plunge rates all the way up to your feed rate. Right,
I've never tried that before.
Yeah, the hog and the beast, you can plunge those at 80 inches per minute.
Wow.
And that's what I said on that.
Even with like your long mill or like my One Infinity?
Yeah. However, you always have to take the bit type into consideration, right? If you're using a down cut, you don't want to drive in that hard because it doesn't have bottom cutting capabilities. Upcut bits have bottom cutting capabilities. Down cut bits do not, right? So in cases like that, plunge rates are important. You have to know what router bit you're working with and the configuration of the geometry of the bit, the nature of the bit. Big body bits, you don't want to plunge at feed rates at the feed rate, right? There's just too much mass driving into the wood, and the dynamics are different. So, to my first statement, with the beast or the badger or the hog, you can drive it at 80 inches per minute.
Okay.
Right. But even the plunge rates are important to take into account. One thing I will say, when I'm ramping in, I will set my plunge rate to my feed rate.
Yeah. I've never really personally messed with my plunge rate too much. I will say I do ramp in 90% of the time with most of my bits, but really I don't mess with the plunge too terribly much. I mean, I've tweaked it here and there. If I up my feed, then I do change the plunge a little bit, but not terribly. It's just not something I've really done a lot with.
All right.
Okay. Next up, Ed Appleton question: in process setting up used Shapeoko 4XXL, should I use Carbide Motion, which is the software for the Shapeoko, or use something else? I have the Bit Zero and Bit Setter installed.
I've never used Carbide Motion. Let's see. Yeah, so I can't really say. I think it's an Arduino based machine. So I think you can use something like G-Sender or something like that. What I do understand, though, I heard this through the grapevine. I don't know if this is the way it is, but I think Shapeoko is proprietizing their control. Proprietary, meaning they're making it so it has to run with their software.
Ugh.
Which is not
That'd be a
good.
bummer.
That's just I just hearsay. That's all. I just heard it once. But to the answer this question, should I use carbide motion? I mean, carbide motion works.
Well, kind of like Garrett said, we're big advocates of Vectric.
No.
I don't know a lot about carbide motion. I
Vortex,
can't speak to that.
Vortex 8 uses carbide motion. So Vortex, why don't you leave in the comments something about this question for us, because we don't use it. And Mark Lindsay said, ask the Shapeoko support group, right? The forum.
Yep. Forums. Those are great places to use too.
Yeah, this is a good blanket comment. Thank you, Mark. If you got a question about something specific to your machine, it's always great. You're going to get the best answers from these two places: the company that sold it to you and the community that built around it, the forums, right? Not necessarily the Facebook groups, the forums that the companies have running.
Yes. Yeah. I know you can even sign up for the emails. I know I get an email every week and it says, here's what happened in the Vectric or in the Onefinity forum this week. And I can kind of just scroll through and like keep up with what's going on. If there was updates or if there was a bug in the update or somebody, had a specific issue that I keep seeing repeated over and over and over. So make sure you sign up for those. All right. So Richard here, we have, how can I make dovetails with Vectric? So I like to use the gadget. You can use the box gadget and then you could probably modify it from there. That would be something that I would try. If you just want to get kind of a quick and dirty way to create dovetails, use the box gadget. You can create either, I believe, just like square corners, or you can soften the corners, or you can do dovetails, but you can edit them as well. So if you're not sure how to use gadgets, I think it's like File, Edit, and I can't remember exactly where in Vectric, please forgive me, where they are, but it's in one of those tabs and you can drop it down and at the very bottom it says gadgets about like 3 or 4 from the bottom.
Actually, it says it at the top. It's one of the main menu items. It says gadget.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's only in VCard Pro. It's only in the Pro versions in Aspire. You won't find it in the desktop versions.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, let's see. Okay. We've got Dean Webb. Second try. Any videos to watch about setting up new black box, changing money sign equals, settings, etc. Been back and forth with the supplier, but sometimes just don't know enough yet to ask the right questions.
Yeah, so the dollar sign equals, those are the things like you can do dollar sign equals 255, I think, whatever. Whatever. Dollar sign, that's how you can change settings in your CNC router. You can enter those in your console. Any idea, Kate? I don't have an idea on this one. Any videos to watch about that?
No, not really. I mean, this there's a few different things going on here with this question. So you're looking to change the settings, but we don't know what machine you're using. We don't know, what exactly you're trying to change it to do.
Yeah, there's not really enough information on this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dean. I wish we could help you. Maybe you can drop some context in the comments, and someone can try and help you out there.
All right, we are at 9:40. So, did you want to
Okay.
share? We got 6 questions hanging out there, and I want to bring the girls back out a little bit to just say because they're just hanging out there in the background. But go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you want to share?
Oh, so what I wanted to share is I have 2 really big, cool things that are going to be coming in. So I have the potential to work with a really cool lady. Her name is Rachel. She actually is right down the road from me. She's 9 minutes down the road from me. I met her through a lady. I went into a consignment shop, started just gabbing and yakking, saw she made some really cool stuff, and asked for her number. And it turns out she is in need of a place to put her 100-watt CO2 laser, fiber cutter, and it has a rotary.
Wow.
So we met earlier this week. It's still being held in Florida, so that might be getting having a place here in my shop. We've been talking about doing some business. There's just lots of really cool opportunities out there for us to put our creative brains together. Secondly, I was at the woodworking show, and with my husband, we came across this incredible machine. It's called a True Track saw, and they sell it in all kinds of different sizes, like 4x4, 4x8, and so on. So basically, what this does is they have a version where it has a manual, and basically what it is, it's basically like a big track saw. Think of like a 4x8 CNC. It has Buildbotics motors on it, and they also have a manual version of it. But you use a big plunge router, and it has all kinds of really neat little gadgets and gadgets inside of it. So it can tell you exactly how far to lower the router. It keeps the track stable when you're sliding back and forth. And it can go like I said, as small as like a 4x4. It can go all the way to a 4x8. All you do is add on another 4-foot section, and you can make the sucker as big as you want it to. So it's incredible. So I bought one. The router just came today. It's a brand new. It's so pretty and shiny. It's nice and clean. The Milwaukee 3/4 horse router. I've got it sitting over here on my table. I'm super excited. I got a couple new bits to go with it. And I met a really cool gentleman. He actually owns a tooling company. So I have to show you this bit really quickly. So this was one of the bits he bought. But while I'm opening this, the primary reason why this triggered my brain was because, we've been talking about getting Garrett's table done and all these things, and my schedule and life and the kids, and I'm running 7 days a week. I just do not have the time. So we went ahead and bought this thing. But look at this bit.
Ooh,
look at this thing.
Badass. Wow.
1/2-inch shank. This thing is massive. And the nice thing about these pieces here is I can actually turn these blades. So when one gets dull, I can't point to it because the camera's reversed, but when you basically just use your little Allen wrench and then you turn it, but I mean, look at that. That's huge. It's like this massive.
Yeah, that's got a lot of mass to it.
Yeah, and then I also got this one here. He said he recommended this one for epoxy. He said this was the best one to use. But I will tell you, this little guy here, the money is, if you're looking to buy one of these, shoot me an email and let me know, because I can probably talk to him about getting a better deal for you guys. But when you buy bits of this caliber, this bit here was $193.
Yeah.
So the money is in buying the bit, but the blades, I think he said, were like $55 or $60, to get new inserts to put on it, which, I felt was pretty reasonable considering the entire thing is almost $200. But I'm super excited. I'm going to be shooting a video. I just got the shipping notification today that it should be shipped here hopefully in the next week. So they're local. They're right here in the US. They're in Ohio. It's called True Track Saw. True Track Saw. Yes. So sorry, had to think for a second, but I'm super excited. Finally going to get this dang table of Garrett's Surface. Praise Jesus, Lord above. A miracle has happened. We got one of these things, but I'm super pumped. So you guys all just kind of have to hang out,
Yeah,
check out.
we might have to talk. I'm looking for a tooling company to provide the larger tools because I'm moving into 1/2-inch tooling.
Yeah, they're the guy is great. I guess he's been a tool maker for about 20 years. But he's local too. He's in Ohio, so
I can't wait.
close.
Let me know when you got that stuff in there. I want to come up and see it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm excited.
I'm going to bring the girls out before you handle the last 6 questions. Girls, you ready to come out and say hi? All right. Liberty says, yeah. Julianne's got a smile on her face. How are we all doing back there? You've been chewing.
Hello. I'm keeping up with the chat and labeling bits back here.
So, brothers and sisters, I just want to let you know, these guys, they show up on their own. They have made the decision to come and join the lives. So this is just stuff they're doing on their own time to be part of the community. They enjoy it, and there you go. And Liberty's back there labeling the bits. Wow.
I haven't even started on mine.
Badger's going.
Look at that. Which one? Badger.
Oh boy.
Badgers. She's labeling badgers.
My box is sitting behind me, waiting to be labeled.
I got
And
about
just on that
150
note,
down.
just on that note, we are looking to start getting ready to expand the team some more. So the girls have been talking about what they want in there because they need some support, in-house support.
It's a big job.
Yeah.
I think Julianne's figuring
bigger.
that out. It's a lot.
Oh, just organizing what wasn't organized at all when I started.
Yes.
No
there's
filing
a lot to
system
do.
whatsoever.
I always say when at every level there's another devil, right? And Liberty was here. She was the first one on board, and she watched all this come together. What's the big about?
I'm laughing at the comments. I'm confused and trying to catch up.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
They're all going after me, and I'm not there.
Okay, here's the test. Liberty's labeling badgers. Buy them faster as she can do it.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
gosh.
a lot that goes into running a business.
Yep, Frank, this one's yours.
And we also have to say we did get Mark sending us stickers. We got another woodworking place that sent our stickers for our fridge. So a big thank you to both of them.
Yes.
I know Liberty takes pictures and sends them. So
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have an updated photo of our fridge. But yeah, we got several in this week.
Yeah.
yes.
What?
So
Send your
thank
stickers.
you, everybody.
Yep. The
Yes,
girls want them.
stickers.
Yep. All right, girls. We got a few more questions, so we're gonna back you out.
All right. Let's see what we've got here. All right. Absolute best custom wood products, Padilla.
That name.
Other than doing a pocket that Marks explains on his website by measuring and how the pocket will look using a spiral. Probably didn't word this too well.
Other than doing a pocket.
Uh,
Mark explains on his website by measuring.
how the pocket
I think
will look.
I think it's a spiral and a pocket. So in a pocket, you have the offset cut, and what that does is it starts in the middle and it works its way out. That's probably all I can think of. The only other thing is that I know of a spiral is during a profile cut. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to interpret that.
What about when you're doing like what you're talking about with a spiral where it's like ramps, leads, start points? I know there's an option to do like spiral drilling, maybe?
I don't know. This
I don't know.
could be spiral drilling. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
All right. Unfortunately, you didn't ask the question too well. Darn it.
I'm sorry, absolute best. We tried. All right. So it looks like Jerry has another question. Does
Hey,
anyone
Jerry.
know where I can order a 1-inch HDU board at a reasonable price? I want to practice making signs using HDU. Thank you for any information anyone can provide me with.
Okay, that question was asked at 8:49. I'm hoping people will answer that, but if not, throw your answers out there in the comments for Jerry.
Yes. I am trying to think of the website that I've ordered some HDU off of before. I think if you just do a search, Jerry, for like King Color Core, I know there are several places that come up. Probably the two top rated ones will probably come up first in your Google searches. So I would check those, but hopefully you have gotten your answer a little bit sooner than now.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see. So Carrie Nelson,
Okay.
Kate, what CFM are you running in your dust collection? Okay, I'm going to be a dodo bird here. I don't know what CFM means.
Cubic feet per minute. So basically, what's the? It should be listed on your vacuum. It would say CFM, and it'll have some number. So it's cubic feet per minute. But how much air? How much volume of air is pushing?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's an excellent question. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's not something I've looked at on the regular or really looked for. I bought it when I very first bought my CNC about a month after I had my CNC, and that's been about 2 years ago. But I use a dust dog. It's actually on the other side of this wall that you're seeing here. It's so over here I have like a shop door, and then I lift this up, and it's just on the other side of this wall. So it's really nice and quiet. But if that helps you, it's called a dust dog. It's a really nice, high quality machine. I like it. But Carrie, if you want to send me a message on Facebook or drop me a comment on my YouTube channel or something like that, I will be happy to look and get back with you on that.
There we go.
All right. Brian Goddard. My challenge is that I have a split shop. I run metal in one shop, lathes and milling with welding fabrication. The adjoining shop is CNC and woodworking. Can I come visit?
The
would
next
love to see
question is tied in there. The next.
Next question. My apologies. Keeping the project separate and the dust out is a challenge. Does anyone out there do the same thing, and how do you combine the different types of processes? So Brian, I think the person you need to talk to is Jack in the shop.
Yeah, for sure.
Jack has all of the same things that you do. Sounds very similar. I think you two could be good friends.
Yeah.
He has all the things like you do.
I haven't seen Jack comment in here, so he must not be in here tonight.
I saw him pop in early on. Oh, there he is. He just commented.
Okay.
He says, my CNC router is on the same table as my plasma.
All right.
Okay. Well, hopefully he has a really good system that you can steal his ideas. Knowing Jack in the shop, he probably has everything wired down to the nth degree of.
Jack in the shop is brilliant.
Yes.
But yeah, boy, dust separation. You get your metal dust from your one thing, your sawdust from your other one, and the metal dust is dirty. It's dirty, dirty, dirty.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know much about that, but
okay. Well, we have hit the last of our questions. So just some final reminders, right? I have finally put the spindle on the long mill. I got the big daddy. So tomorrow I won't be cutting with it. I got other work priorities to do, business priorities. Muscle chucks are back in stock, and you always get the free wrench with the muscle chuck. And we throw a second screw in the package too. So we go above and beyond what muscle chuck actually delivers to you themselves. Yeah, so get them if you haven't gotten one, because they will run out again, as Liberty is going to tell you right now. Here she comes. What happens with the muscle trucks every time we get them in?
Every time, 24 hours. You barely 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm in work and I'm sending them out faster than or slower than they're coming in. They flood me.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So with that, Juliana Liberty, bid your adieus to the crew. Then,
Good night, all.
yeah.
Yep, there it is.
And
Whew.
brothers and sisters, it's been another awesome Wednesday. We are working on getting Jess and Jen from Two Builds, right? Two Moose Designs.
Jeff and Jess.
Jeff and Jess, yeah.
Yes.
And they did. I did see an email from them, so I think they responded.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So, anyway,
They are fantastic.
And then so put in the comments right now people you would like to see. Juliana's going to get to writing, right? Who would you like us to bring on as a special guest, right? Last week we had Ryan. That was a fantabulous 2 hours and 20 minutes. We will bring Ryan back on. We're going to bring Ray Kinman back on. Give us some names. Bring them in. Ellen. Carolyn says Ellen.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, send us your guys' suggestions. We are always open to hearing what you guys would like to see, or people that you admire out in the woodworking community that maybe could use a little extra light brought onto them, because they've just got some good talent. So it looks like we've got Mark again. Yeah, we haven't had Mark on in a bit. We need to have Mark back on. Brian says Bull Shanigan.
Oh yeah.
Jack in the Shop says the slow-mo guys. I've never heard of them. I'll have Julian's going, yes.
What
I'm
about
not sure who that is. I'll have to look him up.
Louisiana hobby guy? He's the light burn expert. He's the light burn god.
Okay.
I've talked to him a few times.
Yeah.
Let's see, the folks from Long Mill. I did mention that to them, so they'll be on. It'll take a little bit.
Let's see. Cherokee Vapor said I would like to see April Wilkerson on the show. I'll have to look her up. All right, cool. I'll have to look that up.
We've had Kyle on a couple times. We'll bring him on again.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing with Kyle, he does have a podcast. He's got in his closed group. He's got a thing going on at the same time we are on.
Yeah.
But if we plan ahead enough, then he'll be on.
Lainey looks like Funwayo said Lainey Shaughnessy from Digital Woodcarver. It was so crazy. Okay, I'll tell you a little quick story. When I was at the woodworking convention here in Indianapolis, I talked to the guys at Digital Woodworker, and out of all the business cards to pick up, I picked up Lainey's, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was literally on his live session where he does trainings. A Spindle TV is his YouTube channel. He does some incredible Vectric trainings, but Lainey, I love Lainey. He's very down to earth, very good person. But the Digital Woodcarver guys are really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Todd from Vectric.
I talked to Becky at Vectric, and
Yep.
Yeah, we can get Todd. We can get Becky. It's like 2 a.m. for them. So when I asked Becky, she said, I can arrange it, but you can see the hesitation in her voice. She said, it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, but
Yeah, it'd be. It'd be tough for her. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I talked to her through the.
Oh, you're going into robot mode again. You're going to robot mode. You sound like a robot again. All right. Well, let's
All right.
check it.
Is that better?
Nope. Maybe we can
Bye,
check out.
guys.
There we go. All right, brothers and sisters. Juliana has been writing. Kate said bye in her robot voice. And I'm going to bid you adieu next Wednesday. We will be here, same bat, same CNC time, same CNC channel. And we will talk to you soon. Have a great evening.